According to the World Health Organization, infants should be breastfed for the first 6 months of their lives. It is described as having the largest single impact on child mortality of any other preventative intervention and provides the best nutrition. So, why do so many women struggle to breastfeed?
Why would we want to choose to deny them this food, specially produced by Mother Nature, for newborns at no cost? Why would we choose to substitute something which is man-made, less nutritious, and has to be purchased at a cost? This is where the Breastfeeding and Child Nutrition Foundation has chosen to lead off its campaign against childhood obesity, which too often leads on to so many of the non-communicable diseases now plaguing our young and old populations at great cost to our quality of life and health.
Vicki Blackman is a health sister at the Eunice Gibson Polyclinic in Warrens. She explains why breast is best for baby.
This is a slogan that has been dubbed over the years and it's become very popular because it's true. The essential nutrients that babies need to grow and develop is found in the breast milk. So if you ask anyone on the street, why is it good? They will automatically tell you breast is best because, and they will proceed to list several reasons. So it is great for nutrition, digestive system for the little ones. The components of it is made up in such a way that it has in just the amount that babies need. As babies grow, they go through growth spurts. So the body instinctively add a bit more, top up on the proteins, add more fats, and it's such a wonderful mechanism. And it truly is the best form of nutrition for the little ones.
She indicates that most Barbadians know this, but putting it into practice is the challenge.
If you stop anyone and ask them why they should breastfeed, they can list it for you. They may not be able to go into the more recent research as it relates to the benefits to IQ, the development of a high IQ, or even for mom with the reduction of breast and ovarian cancer and also reduction of osteoporosis. But they can list right temperature. It is free, it is economical, it's convenient. They can do that, and they will tell you about bonding, which is one of the most rewarding benefits that a mom can get. It's bonding for both mommy as well as for baby. So they can list those benefits. Breastfeeding is very natural. It's the body's way of designed to feed the little one, but it is not easy. It can be demanding because little ones require, once you're exclusively breastfeeding, little ones feed more often. So they go 2 to 3 hours or definitely on demand. And it is on demand that the challenge may come in. Empowering our moms to do it is the biggest challenge. Moms don't believe they have enough breast milk, and that's one of the #1 reasons mom may opt to add a breast milk supplement, because they don't feel they have enough. I think our role as health professionals is to empower our moms to know that their bodies have created this nutrient for the baby and that they can do it. Another challenge can be the support system and lack thereof, because sometimes they may have too much support. And by too much, you may have a grandparents, and this is not by any means saying that we don't need our grandparents, because we really do. But they may say, you know what, the little one isn't getting enough. He or she's not sleeping through the night, and we need something to hold them. And that's a common Barbadian term that you would hear, that they need something to hold them. So if you don't have that, they will opt for a breast milk substitute. And what we do is to then teach moms about the composition of breast milk, so that they know that that first part of the milk is designed to quench baby's thirst, and the second part, when it becomes richer and whiter, that's where the fats and the proteins are. That's the part that's designed to hold them.
Breastfeeding exclusively for 6 months is especially difficult for working moms.
Our moms believe that by 4 to 8 weeks, they have to start preparing for going back out to work, which is good, but they ought to prepare by adding breast milk substitute, or as we would say, formula. But we want to gear their brains in a different direction. I think the first thing, once she's committed to breastfeeding, and I think it's such a wonderful decision that any mom can make to breastfeed her little one, she calls her workplace, she lets them know that I'm due back out on X day and I am continuing breastfeeding. What that should signal to the employer is to have a conversation with mom. So a space for her to express her breast milk, and this space is any space that is not a bathroom. So once it's clean, it's private is one of the key things. We can go high end, put in a couch, put in a fridge to store the milk, but the reality is if you're only having one pregnancy once a year within your agency, you wouldn't need to reconfigure the space, but really just have a private space for mom to breastfeed. She's encouraged to have pump breaks. Pump breaks would include for every 4 hours she's at work, 20 minutes, so that the employers have the buy-in. She has the buy-in from the employers and she's supported in that aspect. What she also needs to do is to start to express her milk as well, so that she's storing the milk. She notifies the caregiver, whether it's going to be a nursery or whether it will be a grandparent who will be caring for the little one when she goes back out. She labels the breast milk, she puts it in the freezer, and she then guides them on how to thaw the milk down so that she can continue to exclusively breastfeed even after she returns to work. And we know it's a challenge.
This is important for mothers to feel empowered. They need to know that society believes that breastfeeding is an important activity that they're engaged in, and that they have the support of society. And this policy gives breastfeeding that, I suppose, gravitas. It gives it that importance. We at the BCNF, we have nothing to do. If you decide you want to breastfeed, we're there for you. And if you want to formula feed, we're there for you. We're going to make sure you hygienically do it.
Dr. Bernard is an experienced pediatrician and a staunch breastfeeding advocate. 3 years ago, she started the Breastfeeding and Child Nutrition Foundation. She recounts her personal experience.
It was a challenge. It was very difficult to breastfeed. I was in the United Kingdom with my first, and although they have lots of resources, it still was challenging getting the support. And then when I came home, and I recognized that although mothers started off really strong in breastfeeding, the majority of them, one after the other, said to me, I got to go back out to work. I need to go to work. I can't continue to breastfeed, or I have to mixed feed, which is better than nothing, but it's not what World Health Organization says is the recommendation. So I felt like I wanted to support them. So myself and 2 other colleagues, we got together and decided this is something that we needed to do.
The foundation hosts support groups for mothers and has noted a difference in who continues to breastfeed.
I do see that mothers in the lower, anecdotally, that mothers in lower socioeconomic groups are not breastfeeding as much as mothers in the higher socioeconomic groups. And some of that is traditional, and the fact that breastfeeding was seen as something a poor person did. We're in the 21st century now, that no longer obtains, and we need people to, if that's the way you feel about it. It's also, as well, support systems. Your grannies, and I'm not demonizing grannies, but they do, grannies and aunties, the older generation, they have a lot to do in terms of supporting the younger generation in understanding that breastfeeding is important. UNICEF says that breastfeeding is one of the smartest investments that a country can make for its citizens in terms of health, in terms of productivity. That's important. We need to take it seriously.
Minister of Labour and Social Partnership Relations Colin Jordan gave his full support for the strategy and hoped employers would do the right thing.
Government is committed to providing the environment for which businesses and workers can function efficiently and effectively while maintaining a wholesome, healthy work environment for their employees. There is nothing to stop employers from forging ahead with plans to create mother and baby-friendly environments. Employers may provide breaks, and when I say this as minister, I'm saying employers may. I'm saying it to indicate to employers that we are strongly suggesting. And it is often best if employers respond to suggestions rather than have to wait for legislation. Legislation always feels coercive. And we would want that employers would respond out of a recognition that it is the good thing to do. And so we're asking employers to provide breaks, safe spaces outside of bathroom facilities so that lactating mothers are able to pump or express their milk. Additionally, to provide sanitized and safe storage facilities for that milk so that it can be used by the mother in feeding the baby at a later time.
He explained that though it is a human rights issue, there is also an economic case for encouraging mothers to breastfeed.
If it can be done in the workplace after the 12 weeks of maternity leave have elapsed, then that provides a saving to the country. The statistics are there. Children who are breastfed, more intelligent, less likely to be obese, healthier for longer. That translates to productive employees because they grow up, they become employees as well. Productive employees, less sick pay, less cost to public health services, and essentially gains, productivity gains on one hand, but reduce health care costs on the other hand. In essence, a win-win for government and for a country. Then the sensitization as it relates to a woman actually breastfeeding in a quasi-public place, this side look Dr. Bernard spoke about, sensitization and educating people then reduces that. It's not going to be an immediate thing, but over time we put away the stigma, this side look, and we encourage people to do what is good, what is right, what is natural, and what is beneficial for them, the children, and then for the country as a whole.
Executive Director of the Barbados Employers Confederation, Sheena Mears Granville, recently had her first baby, who is exclusively breastfed.
I know my own personal struggles with weight loss and weight management, and if I can do one thing that will help my son potentially not have to deal with those issues, why wouldn't I? That was part of my personal decision. So in the end, we know that the research demonstrates all of the benefits. What's clear is that as difficult as it may be, it is definitely worth it. I can say for my personal situation, it's worth it. And let's not even talk about the money. I didn't have to buy formula at $45 a tin. So it's worth it personally. I think it's worth it for our community and for our country.
There is a compelling economic case for breastfeeding and supporting breastfeeding mothers, and that is something that we will internally discuss at the BEC and then look to liaise with the Breastfeeding and Child Nutrition Foundation to see how we can have a strategic partnership.
Your body is making exactly.
In part 2 of this feature, we will continue our talk with Nurse Blackman and have a candid conversation with mums about the positives and challenges of breastfeeding.
You can find more government information by visiting our website, gisbarbados.gov.bb. Like and follow us on these social media platforms under the handle GIS Barbados, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, the BGIS.